What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. As you can see from the title of this video, I am coming to you guys with an October wrap-up, which is basically all the books I've read in the month of October. Now, if you guys have watched any of my previous videos, you probably saw that my goal for the month of October was to simply read all of the Harry Potter series. You see, what had happened was, right, this was a very busy month, and so I am currently in school, and honestly that's really the only reason I wasn't able to read a lot of books this month. It was just a lot going on, had a lot to do, had a lot of papers to turn in, because it is, you know, getting towards the end of the year, so I'm going to be done with the semester very soon. I'm actually recording this for October 30th, so you know, y'all know this is about to be done. It's about to be, you know, the semester's about to be over, so I really didn't have a chance to read a lot of books. Y'all hear that? That's my dog. He's scratching himself outside my door. So if you hear that, excuse him. Ignore him, okay? But anyways, yeah, I wasn't able to read a lot of books. I thought I was going to be able to, you know, thug it out, because I told you guys my TBR. Your girl got about 20 plus books over here, and I did just make an order. Because I think I said in a previous video, I was kind of put on a book buying ban by my mom, so I couldn't buy any books or get any packages from Amazon, so of all of October. So you know, I did order some books today, but they won't be here until November, so you know, I kind of still did my thing. I didn't get any packages in the month of October, but they will be coming in November, even though I just purchased them today. So I think there's about 9 books I ordered as I already have a big ass TBR to be reading, and then I actually have a ebook TBR. If you guys want me to record that, let me know in the comments down below. But you know, girl got a lot of books, but I bought some books, and then I do plan on getting a book from Books of the Month. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, or have any affiliation with them, but I had bought one book. I did buy one book from them. I think I told you guys it was the Red, White, and Royal Blue, Red, White, and Royal Blue. I bought that book from Books of the Month. Didn't finish it, ghosted it. Don't know when I'm going to finish it. Wasn't really feeling it, but I did see some books that I do want to get that are cheaper getting from Books of the Month instead of just Amazon, so I do plan on waiting until they put up the selection for November, because they have yet to put it up. I'm waiting for them to put that up, because I skipped October obviously because I couldn't get a book, couldn't get any packages. So when November comes, I'm gonna put that book in. And I have 2 other books with that. You know, you can add 2 add-ons. I got 2 add-ons already put in my cart. So whatever book, hopefully I like something in the month of November, so that I can add that on and then be able to make that purchase and have that come. So best believe, I don't know if it'll be this week, but maybe next week. It just depends, because I want to have the book haul, excuse me, all together. You know, I don't want to do just one video for Books of the Month and then that book. You know, it's just I don't know. My goal is to have all those books here so I can unbox them with you guys and stuff like that. But yeah, so besides that, I don't know why I started talking about that video. But anyways, like I said, this video is about my October wrap up. All the books I've read, I didn't read a lot. I read about 4 books. And honestly, I only should have been able to read about 3. Because I guess you could say 3rd book I finished was, for some reason, I don't know, I don't want to say I was getting into a book slump reading the Harry Potter series, because actually 3 of the 4 books were a part of the Harry Potter series. I don't want to say I was getting in a reading slump. I just felt like the books, you know, as you get to different numbers in the series, like 1, 2, 3, 4, the books get bigger. Okay, they get bigger and they get longer, and for me having to write so many papers this month and do a lot of schoolwork, it was getting to the point where I wasn't doing a lot of reading, and I did want to read something, but I honestly didn't want to commit to the Harry Potter series right then. So I jumped into a book that I started like maybe August. I started a book. Okay, here's the thing. I know it's October, I know it's spooky season, so you're gonna probably look at me crazy when I tell y'all what type of book this was, but this was kind of a smut book, if you will. Smutty reads, if you will. I don't know why. It sounds crazy to think that I read that literally in the middle of a Harry Potter series in spooky season. I was reading smutty. I know, it is what it is. I started it in, I want to say either August or September, and I never finished it, because when I say I all these books down here, you probably can't see. You can probably see the Bear to You book right here from the Crossfire series. I thought those were smutty reads. I learned the difference between erotic and smutty is erotic has like plot, a thing, you know, and then you got smut that's just sex, plain sex. That's it. That is all. Nothing else. No plot. No nothing. They don't know each other's name. They don't know each other's middle name. They just having sex. That is it, and that is all. And I realized that that book that I got, I will show you guys in a minute, is smut. It's straight up smut. Nothing else to it. Nothing else. Was it good? I mean, it was the sex was, it was, I mean, if we're rating it on the smut level, 10. I have to be honest, it's a 10. It was there, okay? And anyway, it was only like, what? It wasn't even that big of a book. It was very quick, easy to read. I don't know why it took me like months to finish. I think because it was just so much. As someone who likes erotic books, I have a whole shelf for them. I ordered some in the what I just told you. I ordered some books from Amazon that's coming in November. I have a book in there that's considered smut or erotic, if you will. It was a lot. It was a lot to digest. It was a lot to take in. So I had to like obviously take months to finish it, and I decided to read it this month. So I finished it. I'm counting that as a book I finished in the month of October. And I also have a reading journal. Sorry you guys, I have this reading journal. You probably cannot see. Can you see? Can you see? You probably can't see. Okay, but I have the reading journal, which I also got from Amazon. I got this before the month of October, which is basically it's by Canista Company. I'm not sure. This is the name of them. Bam, there you go. So this is the brand. So yeah, that's the brand. That's the company that that created these journals. And basically I have all the books that I read in each month in here. I didn't update month of October. I haven't written it yet, but yeah, I've only been able to read about 4 books this month, y'all. So I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, 1, 2, yeah, I have about 4 books that I read this month. So without all further ado, let's just go ahead and jump right into the video. Alrighty, you guys, so the first book that I finished and I read this month is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is the very first book of the series. I don't know if you guys know, but this is a 7-book series, and I read this, I want to say, hold on, because I actually have this book written in my journal. I actually started this September 29th, and I ended up finishing it on October 1st. So I considered this a book that I read in October, or I put it in my October wrap up because I finished it. That's how I kind of do it. Whatever month I finish it, I include it in that month. So even like one of the books that I started like back in August or September, I finished it in October. So I counted it as a book I read in October because I did read like a lot of it in October, if that makes sense. So that's pretty much how I do my wrap-up. So how I calculate it as when I finished it instead of when I started it, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, okay? But so yes, this started in September 29th, 2022, and I finished it October 1st, 2022. I don't know, maybe I would give you guys like a review of this journal to see if you guys would like to get this yourself, but I kind of it gives you like a little review page, so you can write the title, the author, the genre, the page length, the first published, original language, recommended by and recommended to, and then you can put when you started it, finished it, and then you have how excited were you to go into this book, ease of reading the book, and my overall rating. So I guess I can kind of just read it off from here from you guys. That I put it as fantasy / fiction. I didn't really look up the details to see how to you know, genre type this. You know, I kind of just went off in my head. Because some of these, you know, at a point I got like tired of looking at my phone trying to look up all this information, so I kind of just went off my head. And so yeah, so if some of the genre is not correct, then that's why I kind of just went off my head for it. But anyways, I put for the genre, it was fantasy / fiction, and then pages, it was 309 pages. Original language, I just said English. I don't know if it is, I just said it was. And then I had put recommended by everyone. Literally, I feel like everyone recommends this book, and I put recommended to me. yeah. It's recommended to me, I guess, or anybody who's watching their video who says watch or read the Harry Potter series, or even watch the movies, because I still haven't watched the movies. And then also at the very top of the page it shows book. You can either check that this is a physical book, or you can check it's an audio book. I kind of don't like how it doesn't say ebook, because that's pretty much how I read books. I either read the physical copy or I read ebooks on my Kindle. And if you guys haven't checked out that video, I actually uploaded a video of me unboxing my Kindle Paperwhite 10th generation in sage green. I don't know if you can tell, but green is my favorite color, especially because this journal is like a matcha green. I don't know if you guys can tell because of the lighting, but it is a very matcha green color. I love the color green. Green is my thing. Emerald green, birthstone, May 11, Taurus gang. Yeah, so I love green. So I recorded that, and yes, I recorded that. That is uploaded. If you haven't seen it, I'll have it linked up in the cards above, or cards above up here. Yeah, there. Y'all, my dog is literally outside my door just scratching. He wants to come in, but I know he's gonna knock over my tripod because he's a big boy and we don't have time for that right now. He is not that itchy. He's being over dramatic. But anyway, it pretty much introduces you to Harry when he's really... Y'all, I swear to God, I don't know what be happening to this book. It's like the foil on the Harry Potter sign is coming up. I don't want to talk about it. Anyways, this basically is like the intro to the series. This is where you meet Harry Potter. You kind of get a little bit of the background of him. Like when you first meet him, well, first he's a little baby. He's a little baby because his literally the first, I want to say, was the first chapter. You kind of learn, like, yeah, it was the first chapter, because I want to believe the first chapter is when he ends up getting put on his uncle and aunt's doorstep because his parents had just been killed. And so Hagrid, he comes and collect Harry from the scene, because at that very moment Voldemort tried to kill him, but he couldn't, so his powers dwindled, but Harry was still alive. So Hagrid went to the home to collect Harry. Anyway, Hagrid brings Harry to his aunt and uncle's doorstep. His aunt is the relative of his mother, that they are sisters, but aunt is a prude. Honestly, the aunt and uncle are a fucking prude. They're so rude. I fucking hate them. I hate them with all of my heart. They are so, what would you, I don't know, they give off conservative vibes, if you will. Like, they're just very no, we don't believe in that, we don't do that, no, 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 and stuff like that. And then you got to think Harry is really a wizard. I mean, he doesn't know for a long time. I want to say like 11 years of his life, he doesn't know that he's a wizard. He doesn't know, because he's living with what do they call them? Muggles. That's what they call them. So basically his aunt and uncle are muggles. You know, they're just normal regular human beings. And then you got Harry, who is a wizard, who he doesn't even really know he's a wizard, because he doesn't really know anything about his life, because I mean, they're evil. They treat him like shit. And I think I know they treat him like shit because they know that his mom and dad were like a part of the wizard world, and they don't believe in nothing like that. They don't like thinking about, you know, people, you know, being able to do spells and magic and anything of that nature. They don't believe in, they don't condone it. So they pretty much treat Harry like shit. Plain shit. Like, oh my god. And it's so freaking annoying, because my thing is, like, at one point I was like, if y'all was just gonna treat him like this, y'all could have put him on the doorstep of an orphanage or something, because y'all really treat him like shit for no reason. That's one thing I could say so far, as I am currently, I want to say, on the 4th book. I actually finished the 3rd book of the series today. I wanted to finish it before I recorded this video, because I didn't want to lie and say I read 4 books in October, and I really... My sister just came home. She scared the shit out of me. She scared the shit out of me. Oh my god. Y'all, hold on. Alright, you guys, sorry. My sister just got home, so she's making noise in the background. Sorry if you guys can hear that. But anyways, so yeah. Wait, I stopped off at talking about his uncle and aunt, the Dursleys, I believe that's their name. They do not like Harry. They treat him like trash. They treat him like utter trash. Yes, Dursleys, that's their name. They don't like him, and I think because they know that his mom and dad were wizards, and so they're like, no, We don't mess with none of that. So they pretty much have Harry living under their stairs. Like, it's like a stair. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, y'all know the Harry Potter story. So let's just stop playing, okay? They have him living under the stairs. And it's like, they treat him like he's not related to them in a way. Like, especially the aunt. Because his mom is her sister. You would think he's a whole stranger. Like, he's not even related to them. And it's just like, really? And for 11 years, he does not know that they are, like, he is a wizard. Until, I want to say it's his 11th birthday. No, because before his 11th birthday, he was getting these letters was getting sent to him. But the uncle was refusing him to read the letters. And he was not allowing him to read any of those letters. It got to a point where one day, a whole bunch of letters had flew in their house. And he couldn't catch not one to read it. I was like, Harry, get your life together, okay? But that happened. And then his 11th birthday is when Hagrid comes. Because his uncle and aunt ended up going traveling somewhere. Because they are trying to get away from whoever is sending the letters to Harry. And so they go to this like cabin, I believe, and then literally on his 11th birthday, like 12 a.m. Hagrid shows up to that cabin. And so he's like trying to talk to Harry and say, you're going to Hogwarts and all this stuff, and Harry's just like, huh? And Hagrid's trying to tell him, you're a wizard, you know, your mother and father were wizards and witches, you know that, right? And he's looking at him like, I don't know that. I don't know nothing, because these people neglected me for 11 years. Like, I don't know nothing about my life. He was under the impression, I believe, his mom and dad died in a car accident for 11 years. But that's not how they died. But, y'all, it was just too much. So, all that happening, you know, eventually Harry goes to Hogwarts, and, you know, he's got all this going on. They keep talking about he who should not be named, who was really Voldemort. And Harry doesn't understand why he can't say his name or why people are scared of him. And he's pretty much just getting into the role of learning about his life, learning about wizards and witches and magic and all that stuff. And a little bit about learning about his mother and father and stuff of that nature. So that's pretty much what happens in this book. He also gets introduced to, he has 2 new friends. He never had any friends because his cousin, what was his name? Dudley, I believe was his cousin's name. He bullied him just as much as his uncle and aunt did. So that wasn't a friend of his, and he never had any friends. So he finally has friends at Hogwarts, and their name is Hermione and Ron. I want to say that's her name, Hermione. I'm going to pronounce her name as Hermione, so excuse me if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. But that's pretty much his 2 new friends that he meets in Hogwarts. And sorry again if you guys hear any noise in the background. She's currently taking a shower, so just ignore that. But yeah, so he basically goes to Hogwarts. He has 2 friends now. He's learning magic. He's getting to know, you know, all about his parents. And it's a lot going on. So pretty much like the foundation of the series, foundation of basically what's to come with the other 6 books in the series. So yeah, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This is the very first book that I read in this month, October. I finished this October 1st, and I would say I would give this 5 stars. 5 stars automatically. Top tier. You need to read if you haven't. I love it so much. I love it with all my heart. It's a good book. So 5 stars. Alright, you guys, so now the second book that I read this month is again Harry Potter's, and this is the Chamber of Secrets. This is the second book of the series. I'm going to be honest with you guys, even though I did give this book a really good rating, I gave it 5 stars. I did. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't remember too much of what happened because it's been a while. Did I write this in my journal? Hold on. Let me see if I wrote this in my journal. Okay, I did. I read this. I actually started this right after I finished that one. So I started October 1st, 2022, and I finished it October 5th, 2022. This was also, I put under fantasy and fiction, and this was 341 pages. And I believe, like I said, I gave this 5 stars because I loved it. Like, one thing, let me say this. One thing I have found very common within the Harry Potter series so far, after I've read like 3 books of this in the series, is that it's so many different plot twists that you really, oh well, let me say this. I feel like this book, and definitely the 3rd book, it is so many plot twists. It's like you're bound to get one of them correct, but for you to be able to get all of them correct, it is very slim to none. Not gonna happen. I doubt it, unless you are just like, your brain is just top tier, I don't know. I wasn't able to get all the plot twists. In the first book, it was pretty much only one plot twist, but I wasn't able to even get that right. I don't know. I guess I was so under the impression that Snape, I want to believe that's how you pronounce his name, Professor Snape, was the one who was dealing with Voldemort. Instead, it was the Defense Against Dark Magic teacher. He was the one that was, he was the dude who was dealing with Voldemort. He had him on the back of his head the whole damn time he was at school. He had a whole, what was it on his head? Like a head wrap, and he had Voldemort's head literally at the back of his head. I'm just like, what? I wasn't even expecting him to be the dude. I was always expecting Professor Snape just because he's so fucking evil, and I hate him. I can't stand him. I don't like him, period. I don't care. But anyways, you know, that was that one plot twist, but I didn't even get that right. And then in this book, I want to believe this was about, I want to say this was about the book. It was about a journal that you could write in that would talk back to you. And I believe the journal's name was like Tom Riddle. I want to say it was Tom Riddle. And we later on find out, oh, I'm skipping. Let's rewind. First off, this book, second book, you start off basically going, because after every book, you know, he leaves for summer and he has to go back home, and then he obviously has to go back home to the Dursleys, which I hate that so much about the series so far. He always has to go back to the fucking Dursleys. So in this book, he starts off back at home with the Dursleys, and they're still treating him like shit, blase, and then, you know, he eventually oh, this is what happens when Dobby gets introduced. Okay, I need to go back. Rewind. Okay, so again, like I said, he goes back home for summer with the Dursleys, and he is, you know, getting prepared because he has to go back to Hogwarts. But then a special someone comes to visit him to try to warn him off from going back to Hogwarts, because he's saying some danger is about to pop off. You can't go back. Of course, it's Dobby. I don't know, y'all. I love Dobby. Like, really, Dobby is my boo. I don't care what nobody say. He's so cute. He's so cute, but then he's also a little ugly. I don't know. He's like in the middle. But I love him. I love him. He got my heart. He got my soul. I love Dobby so much. Okay, so Dobby gets introduced into this book, and where he is a servant to someone's home. We don't know who. I mean, I know who, and if you read it, then you know who. But if you haven't, well, I'm going to put in the titles as spoilers. I'm spoiling all the books that I've read this month, so I have it in the title so you guys will know. But Dobby is basically trying to warn off Harry, you can't go back to Hogwarts. It's dangerous. Something's going to go down. You can't go. And Harry's like, oh no, I have to go. I got to get up out of here because this isn't my home. Hogwarts is my home. When he says, I'm like, Harry, oh, like he doesn't want to stay here. And I understand because the family treats him like shit. And Dobby's like, no, you can't go. And also Dobby was, because I believe his birthday, was it Harry's birthday had already passed? I want to say Harry's birthday passed, because Harry's birthday is very close to going back. His birth date is very close to going back to Hogwarts. It's like, so they go back in like September, I think. So it's like somewhere either early September or late August, or early September, and then I want to say either a couple of weeks later, maybe a week, he goes to Hogwarts. So it's very close, very close. So he's like, because he didn't get any letter for his birthday, because his birthday at that point had passed, and he thought that, you know, Ron and Hermione had forgot it was his birthday and didn't send him anything for his birthday. So he kind of felt a little down. But Dobby kind of, you know, tells that he kind of withheld all the letters that they were sending him. And he was like, what the hell? Why would you do that? Why were you withholding my letters from me? What are you doing? And then, you know, Dobby was like, no, you just can't go. You can't go. And in the midst of him saying he can't go, he shouldn't go back to Hogwarts, he's beating himself up. Like, he's abusing himself. And I think he does that because his owners abuse him too when he does stuff wrong. So he's like self-harming himself in the midst of what, or in the replacement of what his owners do to him. And it's so sad. I'm like, Dobby is so sweet and he doesn't deserve that. So he tries all he can to sabotage Harry from going back to Hogwarts. So the first thing he did was he dropped a cake on the visitor's head who are visiting his aunt and uncle, because while all this is going down upstairs, Harry's aunt, uncle, and cousin are all downstairs entertaining some guests. I guess they have something to do with his uncle's business or something like that, like potential buyers of something from the uncle's business. So Dobby ends up running down the stairs and making the cake that his aunt made for them to eat drop on their heads. So, you know, that pretty much got Harry in trouble, because at that point Dobby disappears and Harry's the one there, and it looks like he did it. So of course he's in trouble. And I guess they said something about he can't go to Hogwarts, so they were gonna make him not go. And you know, Harry was just like, oh hell no, this can't do. I can't do this. I kind of forgot how Ron came about, but I know they came in a flying car, flying to his window with the car, Ron and his brothers, and they ended up taking him, Harry, Hedwig, and all his magic stuff in the car and driving him to his home so he could stay there until they need to go back to Hogwarts. And then, you know, it goes, you know, fast forward past that, they're going to the train station to get on the train to go to Hogwarts, but for some reason the portal won't open for him or Ron, and he can't get on the train, and they're like, the train's about to leave, the time's running out, we have to get to Hogwarts. And so they end up, I know I'm probably saying that wrong, y'all, I'm sorry, but well, it just might be my accent that's saying it so weird. But anyway, so they end up driving, using the car, the flying car, and driving themselves. Ron is driving him and Harry and all their stuff to Hogwarts because they missed a train, because the portal won't open for them, and then they crash into the little the tree that likes to hit likes to punch people in the fucking face. They crash into that. Girl, it's too much. And then a lot of stuff happens, a lot of stuff pop off. You got a crying ghost who's just she's so depressed. God, keep her in your prayers, y'all, because she's always crying. She's depressed. She likes to haunt the girl's bathroom. It's just too much. It's just too much that goes on. And then you got this did he get introduced to the thing this book? I want to say he got introduced to the invisible cloak, or cloak, I don't know how you pronounce it, cloak, I think it's cloak, the invisible cloak from his father in this book, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and whew, he gets a little, he found this journal that you can write in that responds back to you, and the dude who's basically, I guess, energy is in the book is named Tom Riddle. You don't know who he is, and you think he's all good and innocent until you find out who he is. And then how did he get, yeah, because I thought I was skipping a little bit over into the other book, but no, this is what happens, because yeah, this is what happens in this book. Okay, because I am kind of skipping over from piece to piece. I'm not telling you guys every little thing, because my memory, again, I read it's October 5th. Okay, it is October 30th. I don't really remember, especially because my brain is still focusing more on the third book, which is what I read. I just finished reading today, so my brain is not really comprehending very well of what I read in this book. But yeah, you got depressed ghosts flying around, you got this book that can talk back to you, okay, and then you got Dobby who's trying to warn him that he shouldn't even go to Hogwarts, he shouldn't even be here because it's gonna be dangerous for him. So you got all that going on. It's a lot. Oh, and then also, because I think I mentioned about the first book, they had a teacher for the defense of dark magic, because obviously he was working with Voldemort. He doesn't work there anymore, so now they have a new professor for this class, and it's been told that this class is kind of cursed as far as teachers go, because they can never keep a teacher in this class. So they have a new professor for the defense of dark magic, and I fucking hate him. What's his name? Leroy? Lockhart? Lockhart, I think I said Leroy. Who the hell is Leroy? Is that his first name? Lockhart. That's his name. I know his last name is Lockhart. Yeah, so we're just gonna call him Lockhart. Don't like him. He is so fucking annoying. He swears like people want his autograph. He swears he's so famous. He swears he's that bitch. Like, nobody cares. He's really like, it's something about these grown ass adults who are trying to compete with a child. If it's not Lockhart, then it's Snape, Professor Snape. He is really, truly, honestly jealous of at this point, this is his second year, so a 12-year-old. I said that funny, sorry. He is jealous of a 12-year-old. You're grown. Stop being jealous of a 12-year-old. Like, get... And I get it, you kind of got beef with his dad, but like, bitch, what they got to do with a 12-year-old? Like, get your life together. Get it all the way together, because it doesn't make any sense. The math isn't mathing for me. And this Lockhart, he's just as jealous of Harry. He at one point, I think at the very beginning of the book, or very like earlier chapters of the book, he's like, you know, I'm famous. I know you're trying to be like a celebrity like me and all, but you know. Anyways, he's like, I know you want to be like me. You want to be a celebrity. You want to be famous. You want to sign autographs like I do. I was like, bitch, shut up. Nobody wants your autograph. And then let's not forget, literally the first assignment in that class, he makes them like learn all this information about him, like his personality, what he likes to eat, what's his favorite color, and then writes a paper. He wants them to write a paper about all the facts he just gave them about himself. Bitch, have you lost your fucking mind? You're not teaching us anything about defending ourselves against any type of dark magic. Like, you are the worst teacher. Girl, when I tell you I cannot stand him. Oh, he was so... I don't know who was worse. Him, Professor Snape, or Malfoy. Malfoy. I'm gonna call him Draco. I don't like pronouncing his last name. Draco. Either Draco, Professor Snape, or Lockhart. I don't know who was the most annoying in this fucking book, but bitch, they were competing. They were competing to be the top bitch of annoying the fuck out of me in this book. Honestly, I can't do. But yeah, that was the second book of the series, and I gave it 5 stars. Again, it was a long time since I read this, but it's just still good. Alright, you guys, now I'm going to come to the third book. And this third book I read on my Kindle. Again, I told you guys earlier, I have a Kindle Paperwhite 11th generation as well, which is where I do a lot of my reading when I'm at home. So this book is not a part of this Harry Potter series. This was a book, again, I said I started in, I want to say either August or September, and I ended up finishing this month. So I concluded it as a book that I read in the month of October, and it is actually a smut book. I know, where does it come in the mix of all these books I've read in spooky season? I know, it doesn't mix. But for some reason, I know it was a quick read, and I was like, let me just go ahead, you know. So I ended up finishing it, and it is Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. Can you guys see? Ooh. Can you see? Oh, okay. I think you can see. Basically, yeah, it's a smutty read. Your Dad Will Do. I don't know. I mean, the title should give it away. I believe, what was the main character's name, y'all? Y'all, I'm sorry, I had to go through the book trying to get information because it's been a while since I finished this. But and I didn't even put in my journal when I finished it. I need to update my journal, y'all. I'm sorry. I need to update it. But anyway, so the main characters are Lily, Shane, and Max. Okay, so let me give y'all the deets. Max and Lily were engaged. Ooh, okay. Max and Lily were engaged. They were engaged to be married, but they didn't end up getting married because Lily found Max having an affair with his assistant in his office. Okay, so what does Lily do? She obviously calls off the wedding, but also she wants payback. Okay, so what's better payback? Sleep with your ex-man's dad. I mean, it's just that. It's just as simple as that. I mean, aren't you gonna do that too? Wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you're not doing that? No. You're not doing that? Okay, well, that's what Lily did. Okay, Lily slept with her ex-fiance's dad. His name's Shane. Okay, and he's basically, I'm imagining him as a DILF. A dad I would like to fuck. It's just as simple as that. He's fine as fuck. Okay, he owns his own business, and he's fine. Okay, he's fine. So, you know, Lily ends up going over to his house one night, and you know, she's all dressing up sexy and whatever, and it doesn't take much for her to get with the dad. I mean, they do a little flirting, and he's like, what are you doing here, Lily? Because at this point, he doesn't even know that the wedding is called off or the engagement is called off. So he's kind of confused. It's like, why is she doing this, coming on to him? And then she you know, basically tells him, you know, the wedding's off, the engagement's off, he cheated on me. You know, he's trying to console her, but you know, she's trying to console herself in other ways with him, you know. And so bada bing, bada boom, one thing leads to another, and they fucking, okay, it's pretty much simple. And you know, they had their little rendezvous, but then after that, he's like, I want more, I want a weekend with you, and I want to record it. Sis, what? He wants to record them over the whole entire weekend having sex. Okay. And then, you know, she's really in her payback move right now. So, you know, she's kind of all for it because she already thinks that Shane is hot as fuck. She wants to have sex with him. Okay. But also, she wants payback to the point that she wants to actually, you know, get caught by Max. And she kind of wants to send a video, you know, as they record themselves having sex. She wants to send a video to Max to like do payback for what he did. And I'm just like, okay. So this is just you with, you know, it's not just like some information you keep to yourself. You want to show the shit to him. You want to, you know. My dog is whining outside my door, y'all. Ignore him. He's fine. He truly is. He just wants attention right now, okay? But anyways, so, you know, basically that's pretty much what the story consists of. The story consists of them having sex. Like a lot. Like a lot. I'm recording it. And then eventually at the very end, Max ends up walking in on them having sex. And I don't know, his reaction, I don't know. I was expecting like some throwing hands. He didn't even. Well then, so you know, she thought her payback was really about to, you know, sucker punch him, but he really didn't do nothing because he had already moved on. But in a way, she kind of had already moved on too, because eventually, you know, at the end, they end up getting together. Her and the dad, her and Shane, Lily and Shane end up getting together. So it's no longer just like sex thing. It is a relationship, pretty much. And then I also mentioned that this really is a smut read, because erotic books, don't get me wrong, they say like little dirty stuff to each other like that, but the amount of time that she called him daddy really made me cringe. And it only made me cringe because he's old enough to be her dad. So I was like, ew, you're calling a man who's old enough to be your dad daddy, and it's like, stop, just don't do that, okay? But they did it. So that's pretty much what this book's about. It took me like a lot of months to finish because it was just, it's not that many pages, y'all, in this book. 22 chapters, 126 pages, but it took me so many months because let me tell you, the smut's good. Like if we're rating this book, like how good is the sex scenes? 10 out of 10. How good is the storyline? 5 out of 10. Yeah. So you want like just a good old smut with no, like, it doesn't really have that much of a story with it, but it got a good enough story, but it's not like, you know, it's not award winning or nothing. I definitely suggest you guys check this out. And again, it's Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. There you go. And I read this on my Kindle. Alrighty, and now last but not least, the final book that I read this month is going to be again Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Okay, or Azkaban. It's Prisoner of Azkaban. So you guys, I finished this book today. This book took me all of October to finish. Okay. Because let me tell you guys, let me tell you the order in which I read. I kind of told y'all, but I kind of didn't. Sorcerer's Stone first, Chamber of Secrets second, Prisoner of Azkaban third. I cut it off like maybe close to the middle of the book. Then I finished this book. Then I came back and finished this book because I was kind of getting into a reading slump, reading so many Harry Potter books back to back. So I had to take a break, and that's why I jumped into that book, and then I'm coming back to this. Now this book, I might say so far, even though I've given all the books 5 stars. Now, even though I've given all the books 5 stars, this might be my favorite book out of the series so far that I've read. The Prisoner of Azkaban was basically getting introduced to Sirius. That's how I've been pronouncing his name. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Sirius Black. Sirius Black was known as the second-hand man to Voldemort, and he's like crazy. He's deranged. He is now currently a prisoner in Azkaban, which is basically where these dormantors are like the security, and they are like ghostly type figures, and they're very scary, they're very freaky, and they kind of don't have face. They're like ghosts, little ghosts, but they're not little, they're very scary actually, and they're like the guards of the prison. And so we get introduced to this character because of course he has then escaped Azkaban. He's escaped the prison, and people are shook because they think of him as like this very, very terrible killer who has killed so many people and has killed one dude who is called Pettigrew. Or Pettigrew. Pettigrew. I'm gonna say Pettigrew, okay? It's been said that he killed Pettigrew, who was also a wizard at Hogwarts, and that he killed him in the middle of a busy street where everybody saw him kill him, basically. Because I guess it was said that Pettigrew was basically coming up to Sirius, trying to like point the finger at him that he did all this stuff. I'm not gonna say what stuff he did yet, because then I'll be spoiling what I'm gonna eventually tell you guys, okay? Y'all, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'll talk out of order because I didn't skip, like, I mean, we all know, I already told you guys that in every book it starts off with Harry starting at the Dursleys because he's going home from the summer. But what makes this book so good, so freaking good, is the fact that in this book, Harry really put his foot down to the Dursleys. It took about 3 books for him to do it, y'all, but he done did it, and I was so proud of him. I felt like a proud mama, honestly. I really did. Say this. It was a point, I want to say like the middle of this book, I did not think Sirius Black was any danger to Harry. I really didn't. I didn't think he was evil. I didn't think he was mean. I think he was bad. I didn't want to believe it. It was something off. It was something about him that made me think that he was just misunderstood. I don't know. Like, I didn't think he was evil as much as everybody was portraying him to be. There's so many plot twists that I just couldn't keep up. Because some of them confused me. Because it has some information with Scabbers, I believe that's Ron's hamster or rat. Then you got Hermione's new cat. And then you got this dog that we keep seeing, you know, this dog that we don't know what the dog is, but we know. You read Harry Potter, you know who the dog is now. But I could say for the most part, one thing in this book that really made me like smile for like 2 seconds was the thought that Harry no longer had to go to the Dursleys. I'm not gonna tell y'all why that happened. Again, I guess you could say this is very much a spoilers. I'm spoiling a lot, but at the same time, there's some stuff in here that I haven't said at all. It's such a thick book, and there's so much info in this book that what I said was pretty much nothing, and compared to what is actually all in this book, because there's so much in this book, and I only told you guys like the tip of the iceberg. It's so much in this book that I skipped over. But y'all, if you know, you know. It's that moment when you finally think Harry's never gonna have to go back to the Dursleys, and then you see why in the end, why it gets all wiped away and why it can't happen, why he can't, you know, just not go to them. Even though I believe at the very end, you know, Ron like says, you can stay with me, something like that, y'all. I might edit that out. Basically, Ron invites him to stay with him, so I like it. Even though it was that one little moment, y'all. Let me tell y'all, I was more excited than Harry was. I said James. I was more excited than Harry was to think that he finally did not have to go back home with them no more. I was so excited. I was like literally jumping in my bed as I was reading this. Like, yes, he finally doesn't have to go back there. And then things got ruined very quickly, and it annoyed the hell out of me. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all the 4 books that I read this month. I hope I did a good job explaining to you guys. I'm not really good at explaining things, so excuse me if it was terrible. I have to get better at it, you know, and my memory is quite shitty, if I do say so myself. I really can't remember a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed me telling you guys the book that I read. Again, the first book I read, Harry Potter the Sorcerer's Stone. Then we have The Chamber of Secrets right here. And then we have Your Dad Will Do on Kindle. And then we had The Prisoner of Azkaban. And I actually only read like a couple of chapters in the physical copy, but then I read the rest of it on my Kindle. Way faster on my Kindle than I did the physical copy. So yeah. So anyways, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn your notification bell so you're notified. I said that's so country. Don't forget to turn your notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.